My hands trembled slightly as they roamed over her soft, warm skin, every touch igniting a fire inside me. "I'm not letting you off easily tonight," she moaned softly, her voice breathless.
Nate. Nate.
God, what am I going to do about you? I wanted her. I wanted everything about her.
Did you ever believe in Christmas magic? I always did. That year, I made a secret wish, a wish for my Mr. Right, my dream love, the one who would steal my breath away with just a look, the one who would kiss me with unmatchable passion, the one who would light me on fire with just a touch, the one I would be willing to do anything for. And what did I get? Everything I had hoped for, but nothing I was prepared for. The snow globe caught my eye immediately. It was beautifully old-fashioned, just like the ones I had cherished as a child. The kind that felt like it held a little piece of magic inside. I reached for it, turning it over in my hands. Wait, did I just see something? I gave it a shake. Snowflakes swirled inside, dancing like stars in a tiny winter sky, but behind them, something seemed to emerge. I held my breath, leaning closer under the dim light of the store. Faint Christmas music played in the background, and only a handful of people browsed nearby. And then I saw him. A man, dark brown hair, deep blue eyes, tall, dark, and impossibly handsome, more so than I could have dreamed. I blinked, convinced I must have been imagining things. Perhaps it was some sort of 3D story built into the globe? A new gimmick, maybe? I shook the globe again, curiosity tugging at me. This time there were 2 people in the scene. My heart stilled. Wait, was that me? I held the globe closer, my breath hitching as disbelief swept over me. It was me, and the man. We were kissing. How could this be? How did the globe know what I looked like? Was it clever technology or magic? For a brief moment, I wasn't sure which idea scared me more. I shook it again. The image shifted. This time we were hugging, his arms wrapped around me, my face pressed against his chest. Another shake, another image. My hands trembled as I saw myself wearing the dress I had bought just yesterday. A dress I hadn't worn yet or shown to anyone. My pulse raced, my head spun. Could it be telling the future? Was this some kind of Christmas magic? Was it fulfilling my secret wish? The thought sent my heart leaping, wild and unrestrained. But if so, who was this man? I had never seen him before, yet he felt so familiar. He was perfect, almost dreamlike, exactly my type, as though he had been pulled from the depths of my imagination. My palms grew clammy as I shook the globe again, desperate for answers. Every shake brought a new image. Me, him, together, laughing, kissing, holding hands, lost in each other in places I had never been. And then came the last image. My cheeks burned as I stared, my heart pounding. It was us, tangled together, passion igniting between us in a way that felt so real, so intense. I tore my eyes away, my face hot with embarrassment and disbelief. What was this? I couldn't sleep a wink that night. Of course, I had brought the snow globe home. I couldn't stop shaking it, desperately hoping for more. But after 12 images, it stopped. No matter how many times I tried, it only replayed those same 12 visions. I studied them obsessively. Every detail burned into my memory. The more I examined them, the more convinced I became this wasn't random. The snow globe was showing me the future. It was showing me him, my Mr. Right.
Hey, Anna. We're having a Christmas party at the Holly and Hearth this Saturday. You're coming, right?
Clara's voice crackled with excitement over the phone, snapping me out of my thoughts. A Christmas party? My heart leapt as my mind raced. The first image in the snow globe, it looked like a party. Could it be this one? Absolutely, I'm coming, I blurted out before I could think. The days leading up to Saturday felt like torture. I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't sleep. I barely tasted the food I ate. My mind was consumed by him, the man I hadn't met yet but already felt so drawn to. What if I didn't meet him? What if I was wrong about the snow globe? But what if I wasn't? Finally, Saturday arrived. I slipped into the dress from the image, the one that seemed destined for this moment. I took extra care with my makeup, making sure every detail was perfect. For the first time in my life, I felt this nervous, like my heart was lodged in my throat, threatening to stop at any moment. When I arrived at the party, the room was still quiet. Only a handful of people had shown up. I made my way to the bar, ordered a drink, and waited. And then I heard her voice.
Hey, Anna, Merry Christmas!
I turned around, a smile forming automatically, but then I froze. It was him. The sharp jawline, the deep eyes, the soft smile. He was real, exactly as he had appeared in the snow globe, down to the smallest detail. For a moment, the world seemed to blur around me. My chest tightened and tears threatened to spill. He was here. He was standing right in front of me, with Clara.
Hey, Anna, meet my new boyfriend, Nate.
Clara said, beaming as she wrapped her arm around his. I heard the words, but they didn't register. Boyfriend? Her boyfriend? The man who was supposed to be my dream. My destiny? I didn't remember what I said. I didn't even remember walking away. The next thing I knew, I was sitting alone at the bar, downing drink after drink, my heart splintering with every swallow. So much for Christmas magic, so much for dreamland. Was this God's way of mocking me? I laughed bitterly to myself, the sound hollow and sharp. The snow globe had shown me everything I wanted and taken it away. Magic? Sure, but maybe it was dark magic after all. I felt like a wounded deer, lost in a forest, licking my wounds in solitude. I couldn't remember how many drinks I'd had when I sensed someone beside me. I turned my head and froze. It was him, Nate.
Hey, Anna, right? I'm Nate. Nice to meet you.
He said, extending a hand with a friendly smile. Seeing his handsome face this close felt unreal, like a moment stolen from one of the snow globe's visions. Oh, hi, Nate. Merry Christmas. I forced myself to smile, even as my thoughts swirled. I must have looked odd, sitting alone at this festive party with nothing but a drink for company. Where did Clara go? Why are you by yourself?
She went to chat with her friends.
He replied easily, his smile soft and warm.
I don't know many people here, so I figured I'd mingle a bit and get to know some of her friends.
What a nice person, I thought, unable to take my eyes off him. His easy smile, his deep, kind eyes. It was enough to make my heart flutter. And yet, as I admired him, I couldn't help but feel a pang of sympathy. Clara was fiery and outgoing, a social butterfly who seemed to thrive in crowds. But she could also be a bit careless like tonight, leaving her stunning new boyfriend to fend for himself at a party full of strangers. We began chatting as he ordered a drink and settled into the seat beside me. His presence was warm, comforting, like a crackling fire on a cold winter's night. "So, when did you two start dating?" I asked casually, though the question felt heavier than it sounded. The last I'd heard, Clara was still with Derek, but I didn't mention it. What if Nate didn't know about him?
Yesterday.
He said with a smirk.
But we've known each other forever. We were friends in high school.
"Oh," I murmured, the word catching in my throat. My chest tightened as I processed his answer. Yesterday, I had missed meeting him by just one day. God certainly had a sense of humor. But then again, even if I had met him first, what were the chances he would have felt the same way about me? I swallowed the bitterness rising in my chest and took another sip of my drink, letting the burn distract me. Something shifted as the minutes passed. Whether it was the alcohol softening the edges of my heartbreak or Nate's warm presence beside me, I found myself relaxing. We talked about everything and nothing: holiday traditions, childhood memories, favorite places to visit. It felt strange how easy it was to talk to him, like we'd known each other for years instead of minutes. His voice was soothing, his quiet, thoughtful glances grounding. Slowly, I felt the ice encasing my heart begin to thaw, one that would steal my breath away with just a look in the eye. The words from my secret wish echoed in my mind, and I felt the truth settle in my chest. He was exactly that. Suddenly, I couldn't breathe.
Anna, are you okay?
Nate's voice broke through the haze. He gently placed his hand over my glass, concern etched into his features.
You've been drinking too quickly. Your face is red. Maybe we should take a break. Get some fresh air?
"Sure," I whispered, my voice barely audible. "Thank you, Nate. Don't you need to get back to Clara? I'm sorry for keeping you here so long." He shook his head, his smile reassuring.
Don't worry about it. Clara's not the clingy type. If she needs me, she'll come find me. Let's go.
He stood and offered his arm, steadying me as I rose. His touch was firm yet gentle, a quiet comfort that steadied my unsteady steps. Together, we headed to the balcony. It was cold outside, and the balcony was empty. The icy breeze hit my face, sharp and sobering, while the faint music and laughter from the cheerful crowd inside drifted through the open door. The view was breathtaking, twinkling city lights against the dark expanse of the night sky. I leaned against the wall to steady myself, letting the cold air cool my flushed cheeks. But it didn't soothe the ache in my chest. If anything, the stillness of the night seemed to amplify it.
Feeling better?
Nate's voice broke the silence, soft and gentle. I couldn't answer him. His concerned look, the warmth in his tone, it was too much. It only made the weight in my chest heavier, the tears in my eyes harder to hold back. Hearing no reply, he stepped closer, his brows furrowed in quiet concern. His eyes widened slightly when he saw the tears streaming down my cheeks, and for a moment I saw something shift in his expression, something I couldn't quite place. He looked at me, his deep eyes searching mine as if trying to understand. Before I could look away, before I could raise a hand to hide my tears, he caught my wrist. In an instant, I was pinned gently against the wall, and his lips crashed onto mine. My mind went blank. I couldn't think. I couldn't breathe. The world around us faded away, replaced by the feel of his lips, soft, insistent, and filled with a passion that left me reeling. His hand held mine firmly, his warmth pressing against me, grounding me and unraveling me all at once. One that would kiss me with unmatchable passion. The line from my wish whispered through my mind. It was him. But it was all so wrong. I couldn't stop myself. I kissed him back, desperate and aching, matching his intensity as he deepened the kiss. His hands roamed my back and waist, pulling me closer, while my arms wrapped around his neck, my fingers threading through his hair. The rest of the night blurred into a haze. I didn't remember how we ended up in his car or how we got to his place. The only thing etched into my memory was the kiss, the same one I had seen in the snow globe's second image. When I woke up the next morning, my head pounded relentlessly. I blinked, trying to orient myself, only to realize I wasn't in my bed. The unfamiliar room was sleek and masculine, the air faintly scented with cologne. I glanced down and saw I was wearing an oversized t-shirt. Nate's, no doubt. My face burned as memories from the night before trickled back in hazy fragments. What had I done? The thought struck me like a thunderbolt. God, did I just sleep with my friend's new boyfriend? Panic surged through me. Nate was nowhere to be seen, and I took that as my chance. I grabbed his coat, slipping it over myself as I tried to make sense of the chaos in my mind. Without another thought, I slipped out of his apartment like a thief, the guilt and confusion following me every step of the way. When I got back home, I sank onto the couch, my mind racing. I tried to calm myself, to piece together the fragmented memories of the night. I held my head in my hands, straining to remember, but it was useless. Everything after the kiss was a blur, drowned in the fog of too many drinks. I'd never been this drunk before, and I almost wanted to slap myself for what I'd done. But why had he kissed me? Nate, Clara's boyfriend. He'd cheated on her. On the second day of their relationship. The thought made my head pound even more. Clara must know. How could she not? He'd gone home with me, not her. Should I confess and ask for her forgiveness? Or should I talk to Nate first? Figure out what had actually happened before dragging her into this? But if I told her, wouldn't Nate be in trouble? Would they break up because of me? God, what a mess I'd created. I hated myself more with every passing second, as if each unanswered question weighed heavier on my chest. Finally, my trembling fingers hovered over my phone. I dialed Clara's number. Hey, Clara. Morning. It's Anna, I said, my voice unsteady.
Hey, Anna. Morning. It's early for you to call. Did you enjoy yesterday's party?
She said with a lazy yawn, her tone relaxed and cheerful. Strange. She didn't sound angry or hurt. Before I could respond, a faint male voice echoed through the line.
Who's that, babe?
My stomach dropped.
It's Anna. Shh.
Clara said, muffling the phone. That wasn't Nate's voice. Clara, who are you with right now? I blurted out, unable to hold back the question.
I'll talk to you later, okay? I promise.
She hung up abruptly. I stared at the phone in disbelief, my mind spinning. Clara was with another man? And it wasn't Nate? What the hell was going on? After a moment of stunned silence, I made another call. Hey, Sophie, I said, my voice trembling slightly. Sorry to bother you this early, but about yesterday's party, what, were you with Clara? Do you know who she left with?
Oh, yes, about that.
Sophie's voice lit up with excitement.
She left with Derek. Isn't that the hot tea of the holidays?
God, I was shocked when she showed up with that gorgeous new boyfriend. But who knew? She still likes Derek?
My breath caught. Do you remember when she left? Before Nate? Her new boyfriend, or after?
I didn't see when Nate left.
Sophie said thoughtfully.
But Clara left pretty early, definitely before him. Good question. When did her new boy leave? Did he leave alone or with someone? Strange. No one saw him go. Poor guy.
Her words sent a wave of heat flooding to my face. I hung up and sank deeper into the couch, my thoughts a chaotic mess. My stomach churned as if the guilt and confusion were physically manifesting. This wasn't what I'd imagined. This wasn't what I'd hoped for. I'd always been the quiet one, the introvert. I listened to my wild friends share their hot gossip about their relationships, their exes, their flings. I'd always been the amused observer, marveling at how chaotic and rich their private lives were. But that wasn't the kind of life I wanted. I wanted simplicity. I wanted one man who was mine and mine alone. One who only cares about me and one I am willing to do anything for. The words from my secret wish resurfaced and my chest tightened. Nate, could it even be possible? Suddenly, a realization hit me. I'd forgotten to add the first part of my wish, one who only cares about me. Maybe I was being punished for my naivety, for assuming that the man of my dreams would naturally love me and me alone. Wake up, princess, I muttered bitterly, clapping my palms against my cheeks. I laughed at myself, the sound hollow and humorless. Was I going insane? This wasn't a fairy tale, this was real life, and I wasn't a child anymore. I was an adult. Wasn't I? Just as I was lost in thought, my phone rang. An unfamiliar number flashed on the screen. Hello? I answered hesitantly.
Anna, it's Nate.
My jaw dropped. How did he get my number?
Your clothes are still in my dryer. Do you want them back?
My cheeks flamed. Could this get any more humiliating? But his tone felt distant, almost cold. Was he upset? I'm sorry, Nate, for leaving without a word, I stammered. I freaked out. I've never done anything like this before. I'm really sorry. He sighed, the sound softening as he spoke again.
That's okay, but you owe me for disappearing on me and for last night.
Last night? My heart nearly stopped. What happened last night? I whispered, panic clawing at me. I was so drunk. I don't remember much. What did I do? Did we, The words stuck in my throat. I couldn't say it. I was too embarrassed, the thought alone enough to make me want to disappear. Another sigh.
I have some things to do during the day, but I'll be free after dinner,
He said.
Let's meet. I'll tell you everything.
My heart pounded as I waited outside the Silver Bells Hall. When Nate finally stepped out, he was saying goodbye to a small group of people. Then his gaze swept the street and our eyes met.
Anna,
He called, waving as he walked toward me.
let's take a walk, shall we?
He said, his tone warm, his eyes glinting with a spark of familiarity. My heart skipped a beat. It was strange, I barely knew him, yet seeing him again made me realize I had already missed his face. That thought brought a fresh wave of guilt. We began walking, our steps falling into rhythm as the festive atmosphere of the city surrounded us. We strolled toward the central square, where the streets sparkled with holiday cheer. Tomorrow was Christmas Eve, and every corner seemed to glow with lights strung across trees, garlands adorning lampposts, and the faint hum of Christmas carols in the air. People passed by, their faces lit with smiles, arms loaded with shopping bags or holding cups of steaming hot chocolate. Everyone seemed caught up in the magic of the season. Everyone except me. "About last night," I said, inhaling deeply as the winter air bit at my cheeks. My voice was hesitant, but the question weighed too heavily on me to hold back any longer. "I'm sorry, I don't remember much after, the kiss?" I began, my words faltering. What did I do?" Nate turned to me, a smirk tugging at the corners of his lips.
Oh, nothing much. Just that you threw up all over me, my car, and yourself. Then you passed out. I had to carry you upstairs, clean you up, change you into bed, clean everything else up, get barely any sleep on the couch, take my coat to the dry cleaner, and drop off my car for a professional cleaning. Then, when I got back, you'd disappeared with my other coat.
His tone was casual, but his smirk carried a teasing edge that made my face burn. "Oh my God," I whispered, mortified. The blood rushed to my cheeks so fast I thought I might faint. I am so sorry," I stammered, barely able to look at him. "I didn't realize, I've never drunk that much before. I shouldn't have. Thank you for taking care of me. I'll pay for the cleaning, your coat, your car, anything to make it up to you. Please just tell me." I could barely hear my own voice over the pounding in my chest.
"I'll think about it,"
he said, glancing at me with a playful smile, and then silence. He didn't say anything else, and I didn't dare break the quiet. We walked side by side, the city bustling around us, but the weight of the conversation lingered between us. Before long, we reached the central square. The grand Christmas tree stood at the center, towering and radiant, adorned with thousands of golden lights that glittered like stars. We stopped in front of it, both of us staring in awe. It was beautiful, and yet, as I stood there, the festive magic of the moment only deepened the ache in my heart. Christmas magic, a kiss under the mistletoe. Everything I had wished for was happening, and yet not happening at all. I exhaled slowly, trying to steady the swirl of emotions inside me. "Nate, can I ask you something?" I finally said, my voice hesitant.
"Sure, go ahead."
"Why, did you kiss me yesterday? Aren't you in love with Clara?" There was a pause, then his voice, steady and certain.
"I am not."
"What?" My head shot up, and I turned to look at him, unsure if I was more shocked or confused.
"I'm not in love with Clara."
He said, his gaze locking with mine. His eyes were deep and unreadable. "But you two are dating?"
"No, we are not." I never believed in Christmas magic, or the so-called blessings of a kiss under the mistletoe, or love at first sight. None of that sentimental nonsense. Since my ex cheated on me and left me for another man, I had stopped believing in love altogether. Women, no matter how soft, beautiful, or loving they seemed at first, weren't trustworthy. They drew you in with their smiles and their warmth, but the moment you fell for them, they got bored. They lost interest, moved on to someone else, and left you hollow. They held your heart in their hands, bleeding and broken, and they fed on it. They were the true predators. And love was just their game. So when I first saw the images of myself and an unfamiliar girl appear in my old snow globe, I couldn't believe my eyes. At first I thought it was some kind of prank, but something about it felt off. I had never met the girl before, yet the scenes inside the globe made my face flush. The way she looked at me, the way we were together. It felt so real, too real. Who was this girl? And why was I seeing these images? Hey, Clara, do you know this girl? It was a casual hangout, just some friends over at my place. I passed the snow globe to Clara, my old high school friend, who was outgoing and well-connected.
What girl?
She asked, holding the globe up to the light.
This is just your old snow globe, right? What do you mean?
Her confusion hit me like a brick. Huh? I grabbed the globe and shook it. Snowflakes swirled inside, and there she was again. Her face so clear, so vivid, as though she was truly there. This, I said, pointing at the image of us kissing. Can't you see it? Inside. There's an image. Clara squinted at the globe, inspecting it closely. Then she laughed.
Nate, are you messing with me? Is this some kind of prank? There's nothing in there.
Her words left me cold. Nothing? I shook it again and showed her. The image remained as clear as day to me. Yet she looked at me like I'd lost my mind. I tried showing it to a few other friends. No one saw anything. No one. They laughed it off, making jokes about me losing it. But their laughter only made the unease settle deeper in my chest. Was I losing it? I stared at the globe in my hands, watching the images shift again. The girl's face, the way her smile lit up, it was undeniable. This was real, wasn't it? Holding the globe tightly, I felt the weight of it, as though it carried answers I wasn't ready to face. This was madness, and yet I couldn't bring myself to let it go.
Nate, can I ask you for a favor?
Clara said, pulling me aside with a conspiratorial look. I raised a brow. What do you need? She hesitated, glancing around before lowering her voice.
Derek and I had a fight and broke up 2 weeks ago, but now I really miss him, and I want him back. But I can't just tell him that. Girl pride, you know?
I sighed. Okay, and what do you want me to do about it?
There's a Christmas party this weekend hosted by some friends of mine. Derek will be there. Could you come with me as my fake date? No one knows you there, so it'll be easy. Just pretend we're dating, and we'll see if Derek bites.
I stared at her, my expression unreadable. It was a typical Clara move, manipulative but cloaked in charm. Ordinarily, I'd have shut it down immediately. I was tired of these games, tired of watching people use love as a tool, a weapon, or a bargaining chip. But then, an image from the snow globe flashed in my mind. The mysterious girl. The party. What if she was there? Clara's words echoed in my mind. No one knows you there. That meant there was a good chance I'd meet this girl. The one I'd never seen in real life, but couldn't stop thinking about. The absurdity of it made me smirk. I'd show up as Clara's pretend boyfriend, already taken. Would this so-called Christmas magic still work then? It felt like pulling a prank on whoever or whatever was showing me these images. Fine, let's test this. Okay, I said finally. I'll help you. And when I saw her at the party, sitting alone at the bar, my heart nearly stopped. It was her, the same girl I'd seen in my snow globe. She was just as I'd imagined, pretty, sweet, and exactly my type. But in person, she was even more striking. There was a quiet, almost shy air about her, like she didn't quite belong in the loud, bustling crowd. She seemed shielded, as if she'd built an invisible wall to keep the world at bay. Sitting in her own quiet space, untouched and undisturbed. I shook my head, trying to push away the strange pull I felt. What was this? Was I losing my mind? You're not the sentimental type, Nate. Get yourself together. But then Clara introduced me as her boyfriend, and I saw the girl's face fall, her expression pale and shocked. I couldn't look away. Something about her reaction only deepened my curiosity. Who was this girl, and why did she seem so affected? I had to find out. When I found her again at the bar, she was alone, downing drinks like a completely different person. Her flushed cheeks and misty eyes betrayed her struggle to keep something buried deep inside. I introduced myself casually, and we started chatting. As I suspected, she was nervous and introverted, but also sweet, kind, and surprisingly easy to talk to. As we talked, I realized I didn't have to think about what to say next. The conversation flowed naturally, effortlessly. Her soft voice, shy smiles, and the way her eyes lit up when she spoke about little things, it all captivated me. But there was something else. Behind her sweetness and charm was a sadness, a quiet weight in her eyes that tugged at my heart. The more we talked, the more I noticed it. Even as the air between us grew warmer, even as we seemed to grow closer, she kept raising her glass to her lips, her sadness deepening with every sip. Why was she drinking so much? Why did she seem so sad? The thought struck me suddenly, ridiculous but impossible to ignore. Could it be because of me? I shook my head, scoffing at myself. Don't be absurd, Nate. She just met you an hour ago. You're nobody to her. And yet, I couldn't shake the feeling. Was it a mistake to come here as Clara's fake date? I was starting to regret it. Still, I couldn't bring myself to ask her outright. What if I was wrong? What if I made things worse? But when her cheeks grew redder and her breaths grew shallow, like she might stop breathing any second, I couldn't stand by any longer. I gently held her glass down before she could take another sip. Let's get some fresh air outside, I said softly. Maybe the cool night air would help ease whatever turmoil was consuming her. And maybe, just maybe, it would ease the guilt starting to creep into my own chest. Outside, the chill air wrapped around us, quiet and still. She leaned against the wall, her arms loosely wrapped around herself, her head tilted slightly downward. She didn't say a word, lost in her own thoughts. The cold felt refreshing, grounding even, and I realized I had needed it as much as she did. The warmth of the party had been suffocating, but out here, everything felt clearer. Are you feeling better? I asked softly. No answer. I stepped closer, hesitant but concerned. Her silence felt heavy, and when I leaned in to check on her, her face lifted toward mine. Her eyes caught me off guard. They weren't just sad, they were devastating, filled with a raw, unspoken sorrow that gripped me and wouldn't let go. It was the kind of look that spoke volumes, even in silence. A deep, aching longing, as if she'd waited forever for something she couldn't have. Tears streamed down her cheeks, glistening in the faint light. She didn't try to wipe them away, didn't try to hide them. They just fell, as if the dam she had been holding back had finally broken. No girl had ever looked at me with eyes like that. So vulnerable, so full of sorrow and longing, I couldn't hold myself back any longer. No questions, no doubts. I leaned in and kissed her. The moment our lips met, something inside me cracked open. It wasn't just a kiss. It was like finding a missing piece of myself I hadn't known I'd been searching for. Her lips were soft and warm, and she kissed me back with a desperation that matched my own. Her hands gripping my shirt as if she were afraid to let go. She melted into me, and I into her. Her warmth burned against my chest like fire, and I couldn't get enough. My hand slid around her waist, pulling her closer, holding her as if letting go would undo everything. Her fingers brushed against my skin, sending sparks coursing through me. I kissed her again, deeper this time, and she responded with an intensity that sent my heart racing. It wasn't just passion. It was connection, like our souls were tangled in ways neither of us could explain. Her breathing grew heavier, each soft pan against my lips fueling something primal inside me. Her knees buckled slightly, and without thinking, I lifted her effortlessly into my arms. She didn't protest. Her arms wrapped around my neck, her lips still seeking mine as if they belonged there. I carried her to my car, my steps unsteady from both the cold and the overwhelming pull between us. Even as I opened the door, we didn't part. The kiss deepened, our breaths mingling in the small space as we stumbled into the seat. We made out in the car, the world outside forgotten. The only things that mattered were her lips, her touch, and the way she made me feel like nothing else had ever existed. But then, her movement slowed, her head resting against my chest. "Hey," I whispered, brushing her hair back gently. She didn't respond. Her breathing had evened out, and when I looked at her, I realized she had passed out. I let out a soft, disbelieving laugh, shaking my head. Gently, I adjusted her in the seat and drove us to my place, trying to ignore the growing stickiness of sweat and spilled drinks on both of us. When we arrived, I nudged her awake. She stirred, blinking groggily. "Let me help you out," I said, sliding an arm around her to steady her. She barely managed a nod, but as I helped her stand, the night took a turn I didn't expect. She threw up, every drink she'd had that evening, all over me, herself, and the car. It was chaos. Sticky, sour-smelling chaos. For a moment, I just stood there, holding her, utterly stunned. And then I sighed. Well, this is a disaster, I muttered, more to myself than her. She mumbled an incoherent apology, her face buried against my chest. Shaking my head, I carried her inside, carefully navigating the mess, knowing I was in for a long night of cleanup.
So, you're not really Clara's boyfriend?
She asked, her head tilting up, eyes wide with hope and disbelief. No, I'm not.
You're still single?
Yes, I am. The moment the words left my mouth, tears welled up in her pretty eyes, like a dam finally breaking. It was as if all the emotions she had been holding back came rushing to the surface, raw and unrestrained.
Can I love you, Nate?
She whispered, her voice trembling, barely audible. Her question struck me like lightning. The look in her eyes, so pure, so full of longing, so achingly simple in its affection, hit me harder than I ever expected. It wasn't just a question. It was a plea, a hope, a fragile thread reaching out to me. I couldn't hold back any longer. I bent down, gently kissing her tears away, tasting the salt of her vulnerability, feeling the warmth of her trust. Of course, my sweetheart, I murmured against her skin. Please love me and let me love you back. Our lips met, and the kiss was unlike anything I'd ever known. It wasn't just passion, it was desperation, like two drowning souls clinging to each other, like long-lost lovers finally reunited after centuries apart. By the time we reached my place, the world outside had faded into nothing. We barely made it through the door before our clothes began to scatter, piece by piece, our lips never breaking apart. I lifted her effortlessly and laid her down on the bed, her hair spilling across the sheets like silk. My hands trembled slightly as they roamed over her soft, warm skin, every touch igniting a fire inside me. I kissed her neck, trailing slow, deliberate kisses down her collarbone, savoring the way her breath hitched beneath me. You're going to make up for last night, my sweetheart, I teased with a smirk, nibbling gently at her earlobe. I'm not letting you off easily tonight. She moaned softly, her voice breathless as she cupped my face with her hands, pulling me closer.
Nate,
She murmured, her tone filled with so much tenderness it made my heart ache.
I'd give you everything, anything. I love you, Nate.
Her words undid me. Hearing her say she loved me again and again filled me with a joy so overwhelming it bordered on pain. Anna, I whispered, my voice breaking slightly. God, what am I going to do about you? She smiled up at me, her eyes brimming with emotion, and at that moment, I knew there was no turning back. I wanted her. I wanted everything about her. Her softness, her warmth, her trust, her love.
Nate. Nate.
The night was a blur of passion, of kisses that left me breathless, and touches that burned like fire. Every time I thought I couldn't want her more, she pulled me back in, her hands on my skin, her voice whispering my name like a prayer. I lost count of the hours, of the moments, of the kisses that left us both gasping for air. I had never wanted anyone like this before, and I didn't want it to end. Afterwards, I held her close, her head resting against my chest. My fingers brushed through her hair softly, rhythmically, as if the motion could soothe both of us. Every now and then, I pressed gentle kisses to her forehead, unable to resist the warmth she brought into my arms. Aren't we just strangers who met yesterday? I murmured, the disbelief evident in my voice. Is this what they call love at first sight? You know practically nothing about me. Her cheeks flushed a deep crimson, and she averted her eyes, her expression shy and uncertain.
I know.
She whispered.
Isn't it strange? I've never felt this way about anyone before, but I just can't hold back. Every time I see you, I lose control of myself.
She paused, her voice trembling with sincerity.
When Clara said you were her new boyfriend, it nearly killed me.
Her confession took me by surprise, but I couldn't help teasing her, my tone soft and curious. How could you fall for me the instant you saw me? That's insane. She hesitated, her hands fidgeting slightly against my chest. Then, she looked up at me, her wide eyes filled with a mix of nervousness and determination.
I know,
She said, her voice barely above a whisper.
and you wouldn't believe me if I told you, but it wasn't the first time I saw you.
My brows furrowed, caught completely off guard. Oh? Have we met before?
No,
She shook her head, her voice trembling.
but I saw you in my snow globe.
Her words sent a chill down my spine. You... what? I asked, my voice quieter now, more serious. Her gaze darted away, as if afraid of how I'd react.
I saw you in my snow globe.
She repeated, her voice soft but steady.
Images of us together, kissing and...
I froze, my mind racing. And every time you shake it, you see a new image? I asked slowly, my voice laced with a disbelief. Her eyes snapped up to mine, wide with shock.
How do you know, Nate? Did you see it too?
I let out a slow breath, shaking my head in wonder. Oh my God, I muttered, half laughing in disbelief. This is insane. Believe it or not, that's how we met. The snow globes brought us together, a strange and inexplicable magic, weaving our lives into one. We dated, and over time, we visited every place that had appeared in the images, like retracing a map only we could see. And every Christmas, we made it a tradition to return to the same square, beneath the same glowing Christmas tree, where we kissed and made our wishes. Every year, we hoped for the same thing, that our love would remain as it was, pure, passionate, and unwavering. She was my dream love, the one who could steal my breath away with just a look, the one who kissed me with unmatchable passion, the one who lit me on fire with just a touch, the one I was willing to do anything for.